ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਹੱਤਵਪੂਰਨ ਮੁੱਦਿਆਂ 'ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਕਰੇਗਾ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਗੈਸਟ ਹਰ ਵਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਾ ਲੌਕ, ਮੇਅਰ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਜਲਦੀ ਹੀ ਚੀਫ ਕਾਂਸਟੇਬਲ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਨੋਮ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ 'ਚ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਫੋਨ ਕਾਲ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਲ ਦੀ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਸਰੀ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੈ, ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਦੀ ਵਿਵਸਥਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਔਰ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਵਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਾ ਲੌਕ ਵੀ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਨੋਮ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ। ਮਿਸਟਰ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ 10-15 ਮਿੰਟ ਲਈ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਾ ਲੌਕ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਔਰ 6 ਤੋਂ 8 ਵਜੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਓਪਨ ਲਾਈਨ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਹੋਏਗਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਸਿੱਧ ਲੇਖਕ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਟਕ ਕਰਮੀ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਵੈਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸੀਗੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਰੂਪਰੇਖਾ। ਸਵਿਫਟ 1200 AM ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਨੰਬਰ 7782021200 'ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। 6 ਤੋਂ 8 ਵਜੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਨਸ ਓਪਨ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ, ਸੋ ਉਸ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸਵਿਫਟ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਵਿਫਟ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਦੀ ਐਪ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਐਪਲ ਸਟੋਰ 'ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਡਾਊਨਲੋਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਔਰ ਐਪ ਦੇ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸੁਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਇੰਟਰਨੈੱਟ 'ਤੇ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ www.swiftam.ca 'ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਲਾਈਵ ਸਟਰੀਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸੁਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਵੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਨੋਮ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ ਦੀ ਕਾਲ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਾਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਔਰ ਉਸ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਉੱਭਰ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। Brenda, welcome to the studio of Swift 1200 AM.
Thank you. Sat Sri Akal.
And thank you very much for being here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Chief Lipinski here.
Yeah, Mr. Norm Lipinski, thank you very much for your call, and very good evening, and welcome to Swift 1200 AM.
Thank you. Good to be here. It's my first time.
It's your first time on Swift 1200 AM, but if you can recall, you and me, we met on air 4 years ago in October 2021, and I was the first radio host who interviewed you when you recently joined Surrey Police Services, if you can recall.
Yes, I do now remember that. And you were the first one. It was, in fact, it was about 4.5 years ago, yes.
Yeah. And at that time, you recently came to Surrey Police Services, and you came in person to the studio, and we had a long discussion about your future endeavor and taking over the charge as Surrey Police Chief.
Yes, we discussed how we were going to do the transition with the RCMP, and we discussed the future vision, and we discussed a little bit about community policing.
Yeah, and in fact, I feel obliged that today is Saturday and you are calling me from home, and we are going to discuss the issues. But 4 years ago, you recently joined, and we were not having many issues to talk about which were worrisome. We just discussed normal things, that you joined and what is your future plan and all that. But as you know that these days, city of Surrey residents are living in fear. And, I also want to let you know that her worship Mayor of Surrey, Brenda Locke, is also present in the studio, and she's also listening to you. And if you want to talk to her, you can also talk to her. So the thing is that, Mr. Norm Lipinski, there has been around 39 extortion attempts from South Asian community business people. And out of these 39 attempts, 27 linked shootings are there. So what you have to say about this? The people are living in constant fear in Surrey.
Yes, first of all, Madam Mayor, good afternoon to you. And Jaswinder, this is a top priority for the Surrey Police Service and Mayor and Council and the provincial government. It's very, very concerning. I totally understand how people feel, but I'll give you a little bit of context. What happened, if you think back to 2023, this started actually in Edmonton and Brampton. And This is a trend that started across the country. We've always had, even in 2024, we had a few extortions, but really where it started was this year. And it was this summer. It was, in fact, in June. And so what we did, because there was such a high number, we stood up an extortion team. And then the various police agencies formed what's called a joint forces operation, which is the sort of a task force of various agencies, because as you know, it's not just Surrey. This is a Lower Mainland issue, Abbotsford, many detachments, meaning municipalities that are patrolled by RCMP, Richmond by way of example, White Rock. And so this is a new trend for us. And we put together these investigative teams. And what we're doing is looking at bringing in more information from the public. And the public has been helpful, but we need a little bit more. When we're talking about what has occurred, there's the extortions itself, and many of them come from outside of Canada. That makes it very difficult, very complex to investigate. And then there's the shootings, as we know, and some of the footage has been, of course, in the media and social media and so forth. And we do have some evidence from that, from those videos. And I can tell the public that we are advancing the investigations. It's taking some time. And I know that certainly Edmonton and Brampton charges have been laid, but as I said, they've been working on some files for over a year. We just started working on these files this June, but we have a lot of resources dedicated to this, and we are moving the investigation forward. And what that means is that we have some persons of interest. We have some evidence that is pointing in a certain direction. But before any arrests are made, before the charges move forward, and that is through the Crown, it's not through us, as you probably know.
Mr. Lipinski, but for the last 2 years, we are seeing that, every other day there is such an incident. And the people in Surrey, they are very, very scared of that. So you are working hard. You have people with you, and you increase the number of Surrey police officers. But the thing is that why there is no result, why there are no charges made so far, why, such people have not come into light and who is behind it, and why there is no success from your department so far, so as the people of Surrey, they should feel confident.
Yes, and the people should feel confident because it does take some time. And, much of what we do, Jaswinder, is not in the open. We are very deliberate. We are very methodical. We follow investigative leads. We do the best practices of what Edmonton does and what Brampton does. We've certainly been in touch with them, but it takes a little bit more time, and we need more evidence. And the threshold for charge approval here in BC The Crown does that, and we want to ensure that we meet that threshold. So we are getting closer, and we have been at this for, I'm going to say, 6-8 months. And one of the things that I'll point out to you that in the last couple of months, the number of extortions have been dropping, and the number of shootings have been slightly dropping. But that's little comfort.
But Mr. Lipinski, there was a shooting happened in Panorama Ridge, and next time, there were cameras installed outside that home, and after some days, the shooting again repeated.
Yes. And so what we do is we put together some safety plans. What we do is we put some cameras. Sometimes these cameras, Jaswinder, they're in the open, and sometimes they're not. Now, one of the things I'll say that nothing is 100% deterrence other than having a police officer in your driveway 24/7. And we know that
that's not possible.
It's not possible. You can't put a police officer on every corner.
But Mr. Lipinski, what's the use of deploying a police vehicle outside that home, whereas no one is inside that vehicle, and the people all around, they know that this is just a vehicle and no police officer is present? Do you think that it's going to be effective?
Yes, we have had results, and when we put a police car out front, and this is for a number of different crimes, Jaswinder. We've had feedback when we have made arrests on other crimes and so forth that it is a deterrence. In this case, it was not, and we understand that, so we're changing our strategy. And we have the cameras that are there, and we've got some good evidence from that. But we also have other techniques, such as covert cameras, that people don't see. So we operate with different investigative lines here that police officers totally understand. And this is something that takes a little bit of time and is a little bit in the background. But we are getting closer. And what I ask the public to do is a couple of things. When you receive an extortion, do not pay. Report it to the police is number 2. But here's the third thing that's very important, is preserve the evidence. Do not delete.
But Mr. Lipinski, people are scared of their lives. They're scared of the life of their children. They can't be at home the whole day. They have to go out there to their businesses. Their children have to go to the school.
Yes, I understand that. It's very traumatizing. It is very alarming. And when you're talking about crime, whether it's extortions or other crime, and even if it's going down, that's little comfort to the victims. And then there's the perception of not being safe in that neighborhood. And we totally understand that, and we work to bring some measure of stability to the neighborhood. One of the things we do is we go around to all the houses for 2 reasons. Number 1 is if there's any cameras that we can get some videos for evidence. But number 2, to talk to the people there and explain to them what is going on and what we're doing about it. And sometimes it brings comfort, sometimes it does not. We understand that. But you should know that we are leaving no stone unturned. And I work closely with the mayor and council, and I work closely with our law enforcement.
ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਨੋਮ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਰੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦੇ ਚੀਫ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਵਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਾ ਲੌਕ ਵੀ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ. ਮਿਸਟਰ ਲਿਪਿੰਸਕੀ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ.
Thank you, Jaswinder.
And thank you very much for waiting during the commercial break, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Good evening, Madam Mayor.
Good evening.
Yeah. So, Mayor, if you want to talk something, you can talk to him. Then I can ask my questions.
Oh, sure. One of the things, and it's good to hear from you. Good to hear from you, Chief Lipinski. We were, and I just wanted to make sure that your listeners, Jaswinder, really understand that the chief and I work very much hand in glove on this. We are very, very concerned about what's going on, and the chief keeps me up to speed every single moment of the day. And I mean,
so you interact very often?
A lot.
Regularly.
The chief has sends me sometimes text messages at 6 in the morning or even earlier than that. The one thing, though, that I think that the chief can't get into the politics of this, but there is a big political issue here that we have to deal with. And that is the fact that the police in British Columbia cannot lay the charges.
Yeah, so let me go back to him.
Okay.
Mr. Lipinski, you remember that there were two security firms in Reflection Banquet Hall. One was some months back, and other was some years back. I think you were part of both of them.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and there were Honorable Gary Begg on the dais along with you, and some Liberal MPs were there, and Her Worship Brenda Locke was there, and so many community people, almost each and everyone from the Surrey community, they were present there. All the media were present there, and people were of the opinion that all the representative of whether municipal government or federal government or provisional government, they are not in coordination with each other, and all were, speaking different tones. And there was some senior, local political person there. He talked to me after the forum. I don't want to take the name, off the record. He said that, all the, different formats of government, they should interact with each other. And he told me that, Gary Begg is saying something else, Brenda Locke is saying something else, and the chief is saying something else. So do you think that we are not able to get rid of all these problems because there is a coordination between all these, level of governments? Do you think so? There is any issue?
Yeah, so I'll make some comments there, Jaswinder, and then perhaps Madam Mayor can make a few comments. So first of all, as the Mayor had said, we work closely together. We talk on every second day about these issues and strategize of what would be the next steps in trying to get closer to holding people accountable. And that's one aspect that the Mayor and I discussed. The other aspect is the fact that we're here, both of us, and we want to reach out to the community. We want to discuss with you and lay out what we're doing.
Mr. Norm Lipinski, that's why I requested you to be on air, because I know your schedule. You are so busy, and all your officers are working very hard, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know that. But that political person was having a lot of RCMP experience. I don't want to name him. And he said that, Gary Begg is not aware what's going on in the city, and the police chief is not on the same page as Gary Begg. So, the people of Surrey are not concerned about how you people are going to interact. They just want to get rid of this problem. It's very, very worrisome. The people are not able to sleep. And, now this shootings and extortion calls and everything, it has become like a normal thing, like changing clothes and eating and breathing. So what we have to do?
Yes. So thank you for that. But my experience has been that I work with the provincial entities. I've certainly spoken to the new public safety minister. I've also spoken to the federal public safety minister about this issue. And one of the things that Madam Mayor brought up, I think, Jaswinder, is important that people understand how the justice system works here. And here in BC, there's only a few provinces that the Crown has to lay the charge.
Yeah. So, Mr. Lipinski, have you requested the local NDP government to lower the charges approval? If that is a restriction, I think that you, along with your senior officials, you should make a demand to the NDP government, because, the government is for people, city of Surrey and, all the residents. It's a big city now. It's going to be the largest city in coming years. So you should make a demand to the NDP government. All the MLAs are from the same government in Surrey.
Yes, let me make a comment there if I could, and then I'll ask Madam Mayor to make a comment, because she started to talk about pre-charge approval. Policing is in spirit apolitical, so we do the investigation. But let me explain how this works. Mm-hmm. So when the police officer investigates, and when there's a case put together, you have to meet a very high threshold, and we know what the threshold is, and it's called reasonable probability of getting a conviction. But we put the case together and we give it to the Crown. And the Crown, depending how busy they are and how complex the case is that we're submitting, it could take quite a bit of time before they would approve the charge, or they would, in fact, send it back and they need some more evidence, or they need somebody to look into this area over there or over there. So, and that is there's a certain amount of delay, and you know, many people have from the community.
Mr. Lipinski, sorry to interrupt you, but you know, since I announced that you and you know, Her Worship Mayor is on the show, I am getting constant calls since morning from the community people, and they say that if there should be the flexible norms, if the norms has to be changed, rules and regulation has to be changed, then the government should change it, and the Surrey Police Force, Surrey Police Chief should make a demand to the local government to make the charges, you know, make the changes flexible and make it easier for you guys, so that the people should feel safe. Because you know, there are so many Punjabi film movie stars who have already paid you know, millions of dollars to the people who are calling them for the extortions. So the thing is that what's your take on that? Do you think that the NDP government is going to listen to you if you are going to tell them to lower the charge approval process?
Well, thank you for those comments there. You know, explaining how this works, there's the charge approval, and I know that, and I'll ask Madam Mayor to speak, but I know that she's been working on that, and she's certainly had some discussions. But Madam Mayor, perhaps you can fill in some of the background there.
Yeah, happy to. And you know, Jaswinder, what you're asking is a truly important question. And it's something that the Chief and I have had several conversations on, but I'm going to just tell you that, yes, the police can ask for those things, but these are really political asks. And so certainly I've been involved in those conversations. First of all, I have said many times, we need a special prosecutor for Surrey on this issue right now. No questions asked. I've said it in writing. I've asked the Attorney General for that. I asked her.
So Nikki Sharma was also present there on that day?
Yes, she was. So I asked her last year for a special prosecutor. I asked her this year, 2025, for a special prosecutor. Both times she said no.
Okay.
The other piece, no, hang on just a minute.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and the chief is I totally agree with him on where we sit, because in British Columbia, we cannot lay the charge, or the chief cannot lay the charges. Now, how ridiculous is that?
They have to go through Crown Counsel.
Through the Crown.
And that's the reason that it's being delayed.
100%. And quite frankly, the Crown in Surrey is underfunded. Now, that's not something that policing has any jurisdiction over.
So have you made the demand to the NDP government?
I have
you have so
talked
many
to them
MLAs
of
here.
that.
You have so many ministers here.
Right? Yes.
So
and when are
I think that they are listening. I think that they're going to listen to this program, and we will make a recording and we will send it to all of them through WhatsApp. And we have Jagrup Brad, we have Amna Shah, we have Sunita Dheer, we have Ravi Kalon. All are having very important positions in the government. Then why they are not listening to the plight of their own city residents from their own community?
Good question. I don't know.
Why they are not listening? Why they are deaf?
And I'll tell you another thing, and Chief, you may or may not want to comment on this. I think there needs to be within the Crown, within the prosecution, the prosecutors themselves, within their authority, there needs to be a cultural shift. There needs to be a cultural shift where they are much tougher on how and when they lay those charges. I think it is British Columbia is recognized as one of the lightest, weakest when it comes to charging.
Brenda, I will get back to Honorable Mr. Lipinski, because I have only 5 minutes left. I will come back to you. So, Mr. Lipinski, I talked to some Liberal MP, Liberal representative off air, and they told me that, you know, whatever they can do, they are doing for the people of Surrey, and they have provided enough funds, federal funds, for Surrey Police Force. So do you think that you are getting enough support from the federal officials? Federal
Well, let me
government?
just explain. Thank you. Let me just explain, Jaswinder. So, as you know, Surrey Police Service is the police of jurisdiction. We're in charge. We work very closely with the RCMP because the RCMP is still here in Surrey. And we, as we hire and we deploy people, the RCMP are demobilizing. So there is enough federal funding for the RCMP, essentially through a sequence of events. That's how they get paid. And so we have enough resources in Surrey together, and we are
from
very
the federal government, and you don't have any complaint from the federal government for the funding?
I don't have any complaints on the staffing of Surrey. We will be, as a growing city, and certainly the mayor knows this, we've discussed it, as we grow, and we're growing very rapidly, we will be increasing the amount of police officers that we have. And we have to, because the latest is, 3-5 years out, we're going to be the biggest city. And so there's lots of complex issues with big cities, including social issues that involve the police and various departments of the city of Surrey. So we're ready for that.
Okay, and Mr. Lipinski, you think that you have enough number of police officers with you?
We will, as police chiefs, ask any police chief and they'll say, do you need more police officers? And everyone will say, we'll take more. But we have enough now, but we need to increase, and we will be increasing.
Okay, Mr. Lipinski, if you have enough now, so do you think that in due course of time, with all those number of police officers, you will be able to give some result to the Surrey community?
We results in pertaining to the extortions, I think you're
saying. I mean that the people should feel safe again.
Yes, we will have some results. It's going to take some time.
So the number of police officers are enough for you? They are fine?
We have, there's two things you should be aware of, Jaswinder. Number one, we have an extortion team. That's within the Surrey Police Service and dealing with these extortions. But also, there is I'll call it a task force of various agencies, Abbotsford, Delta, RCMP, Surrey Police Service. And this is to look at the region. This is to look at the lower mainland when we're talking about extortion. So there is a lot of resources. Now, what's really important is this includes the National Coordination Center of the RCMP. And I can tell you that we are also in touch with the Peel Regional Police, which is Brampton, and we've been in touch with the Edmonton Police Service. And what happens there is we exchange investigative techniques, what works, what doesn't, and we exchange intelligence. And I won't get into details on that, obviously, but we have good information and good evidence that we have exchanged.
Okay. Mr. Lipinski, the last question. So do you think that the delay in transition from RCMP to Surrey Police Force, so was there any role because of this, giving out the results? Did it affect your working?
No, not at all, Jaswinder, and I'll tell you why. We work very closely with the RCMP and on this issue, but also this issue reminds me of going back to 2013 or 12 when we had the gang conflict. I mean, it's still here, but in Surrey, you recall, it was extreme. It was extreme. And when I took over the Surrey Police Service in 2020, we've maintained that lower profile. We've maintained the safety.
Mr. Lipinski, I think you have to leave because the commercial break is coming, and I have to say thank you very much to you for sparing your time and discussing all these important issues. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, and good evening, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.